Yeah.
Yeah, he's very small.
We live.
What's up, man?
Hell yeah. Everybody, welcome to episode 8?
Episode 8.
Welcome to episode 8 of Jason Casey's podcast. Fucking shit.
Within a ball, you know?
Yeah, Yingling.
Hell yeah.
Maybe they'll pay us.
How would a
say.
How would a Chinese person say Yingling? I have a Yingling.
Yeah, Does it sound like to us?
Yingling McGregor.
How would they say liberal, Rob? I know a lot of them are Republicans, but how would they say liberal? They'd be like,
Oh, I am very liberal.
Guys, don't get offended. We're all comedians.
Yeah, they talk about how. Look, I think we need to lift the whole bar. You know, I was reading a comedy book about punching down. And when I read it, I thought, you know what? This is the most racist shit I've ever read. Because ultimately what it says is, if you're a white guy, you're better than everybody else. And I don't know, maybe it's just me. I kind of think that that's the wrong message to send, and that's the message that they're, in an attempt to be anti-racist, that's what it is. That's what they're saying.
It's like, oh, you can't handle being mocked. And it's like, no, you're actually sort of excluding them. Yes. Like, the best comedians make all groups feel a part of it. Like Matt Rife, I don't think he's that gifted at comedy, but when he works with people who are, like, disabled or special needs, and he makes them laugh, like, that makes their whole life or their year or whatever, you know?
We're not making policy up here. We're making jokes. And I think if you consider it punching down, like, oh, somebody's racist, it's like, well, all right, if it's punching down, then you're inherently saying that white guys are better than everybody else, which I don't believe, by the way. But that's what the comedy ethos, and at least the one comedy book I was reading, written by women, of course, because you know they seem to be the ultimate purveyors of that shit. And I'm just not for it. I think it's time to break the paradigm, because that thought process in itself is inherently like racist, white supremacist. Like, oh, men can't make fun of women. Why? Like,
I love that Chappelle bit where he talks about how white women were also a part of everything that was fucked up in history. Mm-hmm. He goes, you guys were in on the heist. You were not happy with your cut. Yeah. And it's true. And it's like, yeah, no, I mean,
if you look back through history, all of them had queens sitting right there, or, you know, I mean, but you never heard her be like, hey man, you need to chill out. Like, I don't want any more furs or gold. Like, I don't want to live in the nicest castle in the air. You never heard.
And how many white women would just get dicked down by black guys and then be like, he raped me? And it's like, that wasn't the problem.
Oh, yeah.
And then now you guys are minorities?
Okay. Right.
I mean, I feel like that party started the BLM movement, or at least kept it going. You know what I mean? Because they're like, no, we did. Those are fun. Like, there's so many of those stories from the South, too, where just, you know, hot, horny.
Yeah. When you think of a white savior, like, to me, it's like an awful that comes to mind. Affluent, white, female liberal. It's like they're trying to offset some sort of guilt that they don't really have. You know, like to make themselves feel better. For what?
Yeah.
You know, like,
or to like be like, it's the sort of thing where like I think it's the female equivalent of when a guy's like, man, if I was there, I would have just beat the shit out of that guy.
I'm balls deep in the Grievous fight right now.
Yeah, let's show them a little bit of what's happening. This is crazy. Oh shit! That's one arm down.
Oh no, he already lost two.
He's two down.
Who is that? Is that Ewan McGregor?
Yeah, dude. Our boy from Scotland. Oh shit! And then the clones come in to even things out. That's so gangster.
Yeah, I watched that movie in Sweden for the first time.
What were you doing in Sweden, brother?
I was doing work and I couldn't sleep. The hotels over there, like, my boss just kept telling me before I went over, he's like, pack warm, because they don't heat like us. And I didn't know really what that meant. It would have been much more clear if he just said, hey, there's not thermostats in the room and it's going to be 48 degrees and you can't change that. And they give you 2 blankets. So, like, even in a nice hotel, they give you 2 like twin blankets that are down that are like real slippery. So I was wrapping myself in them, and every time I fell asleep, like one would slide off. You could see the heat escaping. So at one point, I just decided, screw it, I'm staying up. And Star Wars was on, and it was like that was in English plus a bunch of Swedish commercials. So I ended up getting all the Star Wars in. I slept maybe an hour a night in 15-minute increments. It was awful. I will never go back there in the winter.
Wow.
Were you doing any skiing or anything like that, or you just?
No, I was in an office doing IT work.
That's smart. Did the office have heat?
The office was Americanized, so we had thermostats there.
Wow. Did they treat the workers better than just people living in the hotel room or whatever?
Well, the only reason it had a thermostat there.
Different country and work. It's like the people that are in hotels are living pretty good. If you're working, you're F out there. Do you have any?
They didn't have it before we came over there. What's that?
Suicide nets around that building?
No, everybody seemed pretty happy and pretty warm. Like they're used to it. So like I was going in like a poo shiesty mask, hat, gloves. So I come into the office and they're like,
I would fuck just the average Swedish woman. Shout out to Sweden.
Have you guys seen like the shiesty porn where the chick wearing the shiesty?
That's also a good one, but let's go back to Sweden for a minute because I'm just gonna ponder that for a second. Is that Scarlett Johansson, the ScarJo from there? She's got that
idea.
That je ne sais quoi.
Let's see. Let's look that up. Let's see.
ChatGPT.
It's the funniest.
ChatGPT. Let's see. What kind of thing is Scarlett Johansson? Where is Scarlett Johansson from?
It's just that. That's our version of Jeopardy. We're just gonna play that for a little while.
At some point, ChatGPT, somebody's gonna hack it and fill it with just like the craziest answers, and we're all just gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that's good." All right, here we go. It explains a lot. All right, her background is a mixture of Danish and come on, what's the other one? Hollywood. I mean, think Hollywood stereotypes. Jake. We're gonna say Ashkenazi Jew. There we
go. Wow. No way. I'm gonna marry her.
We're everywhere. We're everywhere. You can't get away from us.
I love that.
Totally explains the Black Widow test.
That's my wife, bro.
She was hot. I remember I figured out that she was hot when I was watching Entourage. You ever watch Entourage, Casey?
All I know from Entourage is
it's pretty good.
It was a little bit over the top, but that was kind of why it was funny. It sort of was making fun of itself.
Loose stories about Mark Wahlberg's life in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny that, even those guys smoked weed. Like, you know what I mean? They were from New Jersey or New York.
Yeah.
Queens. I think they were from Queens, yeah. And that's where they're from Queens. It's more like they're from Boston. But, yeah, and then their fucking episode when
fucking boss.
They play golf against the real life guys that they're based on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
That is cool.
Yeah,
I love Boss.
I've seen clips of that show, like YouTube clips of that show. I've never watched it all the way through.
That's a good show. I'm kind of like I'm like that one guy, Turtle. I always feel like I was that guy.
Funny. Turtle was cool.
Damn, Anakin is pulling out a lightsaber on Palpatine. He's realized that he's the Sith Lord. And he still doesn't do the right thing.
Who, Anakin?
Yeah, man, he's kind of sus. He's a sussy boy.
Also known as Darth, eventually Darth. Gotta go dark side.
Pussy Truman.
Did I spoil it for you, Jay? You knew that he went dark side, right?
I've seen all of them so many times. I love all this shit, man. The nerd.
Yeah, so which ones do you consider non-Star Wars? Because I consider anything Kathleen Kennedy made is just, discard it.
Only the Disney ones aren't canon.
That's what I feel like. Disney is not canon. I did enjoy some of the Disney ones. I think some of the Mandalorian is good. I think
Mando's fun.
I really,
with Mando.
I really like the Solo movie. I like Rogue One a lot, and then the rest of the trilogy of movies, you should just like burn in a dumpster fire.
Those are basically the Book of Enoch. You got,
who's that guy that?
Although I think the Book of Enoch is better.
No, wait.
That's 3 movies.
I'm trying to access something you vibe with. Is it Pam? Is he a guy?
Pam?
No. Pam or
Paul?
Mayhem or Pam or Pam or...
I got a bunch.
There's one that MSSP was talking about, and it's like Moloch, but it's with like a P or something.
So I don't know.
The Moloch type.
Well, I know that guy was... This one, like, Baphomet?
That one? No, that's like not. I want like...
No,
it's like
that's like a demon, dude.
That one pops up over, but they're all demons. Pan is a little goat, too.
No, he's a satyr. I know what Pan is. It's Pam or Mayhem or Mayhem. I can't remember what the fuck it was.
Wait, is this in Star Wars, or are we on to demons now?
We're on to demon shit, bro. Like fucking Seraphim and Nephilim type shit.
We've also been doing trying to figure out what the social comparison is to Star Wars versus what is it about? It's about 9/11.
It's a lot about that. It's also about the
transhumanism. You know what I mean?
No, that's not correct. But it's mostly about the Japanese taking over the economy and the Chinese. It's about 9/11 and how we have to bomb all of the Middle East into glass. And then the third one is about how
the determination of Star Wars is.
I didn't think it's about
I'm just
the fight against turning yourself into a robot. That's what I think it's really about.
Well, that's part of it, too. The only way to be immortal is to be a robot. You can't live forever any other way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why Sidious can't get... They're not Sidious, but Grievous? Grievous. There's so many left terms in there. But that's why he can't wield the Force right. What's the only thing that he has living? Is it just his lungs? His heart? That's the only thing that all that shell's built around?
I think it's eyes and organs. That's all you got, yeah.
Jake,
internal...
You're being hidden by a mason jar, Jake.
Oh, sorry. That was on purpose.
We got moonshine there?
So can we... Huh? Oh, what's that here?
Moonshine?
No, this is a white tea shop. I just made an extra one, so I didn't have to get up and make myself another one.
What's white tea?
It's Tito's vodka, sour mix, and peach schnapps. So it's about as gay as you can get.
There's gayer drinks. If you had an apple teeny, I think that would win as gayer.
The only teeny I like is just a straight up dirty regular vodka martini.
Yeah, it's just every alcohol. What's up?
That cop at the party last night was like such a fucking wild guy.
Yeah, you would not think that he was an actual cop.
He is out there, man.
Retired cop?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Active on duty cop?
He's like active on duty.
This is why you see like so many of these videos in Florida of just unhinged police officers.
Dude, he honestly,
and then this happens all the time. Just like fight amongst each other. You've seen these videos?
Yeah.
Where it'll be like one sheriff trying to arrest another sheriff.
Yeah, he's been.
You're not even in the right jurisdiction, son. Here's my fucking bad.
Or Florida sheriffs pulling over FBI agents, and then them being like, "Dude, I'm an FBI agent." And they're just like, "I don't believe you, man."
Yeah, I don't believe you.
That dude is not jail. He's screwed.
Yeah, he's been in a couple local news stories, like. There was a golf cart chase that he was involved in where you see some guy doing like jumps over the golf carts and he pulls the car in and like tackles the guy.
Yeah, I wanted to get into like doing the FOIA request for the chest cam footage.
Dude, I think body cams
voiceover comps on them. You know what I mean? Instead of actually playing them and breaking them down, like just doing voiceovers.
Yeah.
What, with body cams? Like bad lip reading on body cams?
Dude.
I love those.
That'd be a good
I
one.
go through
I
phases
don't
where
think that would be this.
Oh no, it's been horrible takes.
Yeah.
It's literally.
I gotta say, I can't sign off on that one.
I mean, unless you just every time you just try to make the police look as horrible as you can. You know what I mean? And then so it's just like you end up rooting for the black lady that's talking on her phone at the intersection, hammered off Cristal.
it's getting hard though. Like I watch one where it's like holy shit! Like you're seeing since like 2020 that the cops are definitely walking on eggshells, and you go, man, the people they're pulling over aren't making things any better. You know, like you got a lot of Karens going, let me speak to a supervisor. I've seen a lot more women sovereign citizens where it's like, wow, I didn't even know women knew this. And apparently there's a whole new breed of them that are like, no, I'm not driving, I'm traveling. I'm not in a commercial vehicle.
They stumbled onto the black guy they're cheating on their husbands with TikTok lane, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they got into the algorithm somehow.
I didn't know they were allowed to steal our chicks.
I didn't know women were sovereign citizens. I only ever seen that. Like, I'm traveling. I'm not driving. I don't need a license. And you know, has that ever worked? Has that ever once worked? I would love to know.
I've seen work.
My buddy
Cooperate.
My buddy Gino had the studio. That dude.
Yeah.
He had one of those all blacked out plates. You know what I mean? That just said traveler on it.
Yeah.
And then he never like had the balls to put it on his car. But he's researched it. I'm like, dude, there's no way, bro. And then have you seen that guy in like he's a super nerdy judge who wears like funny suits?
Yes, the bow tie judge. Yes. Yeah.
And he just waits for the sovereign citizen to come up, and he's like, oh no. He's like, I've been having a bad day. He's like, this is about to make it better. Can't wait. Like, what do you got, dude?
Because it's always so funny.
See, we gotta get like StreamYard or something so the three of us can pull up videos and watch them together. I saw one last week. Danielle was showing me one where this guy, you know, like since they put hearings on Zoom since COVID, it's made for a lot of entertainment. So there's one, and this guy's like, I'm just pulling into the place. Hold on a minute. Like he's completely unprepared. And the judge is sitting there. The judge is some old black dude. And his facial expression is just going like, and he goes, I'm reading the charges here. He has a suspended license. I don't know why he chose to drive the car somewhere. Your license is suspended. And then he goes, you're going to have to turn yourself into jail tonight. And then I'm thinking, how's he going to get there? He's probably going to drive.
Check this out. So my ex-girlfriend lives in Michigan. She was on one of these Zoom court calls that got covered on like Inside Edition, right? The actual like Zoom court call has like 10 million views on it, dude. And it's her and her boyfriend at the time at a domestic violence hearing, right? So he slapped her. There's a restraining order. So it's him. It's like the arraignment, and you know she's like the material he witnessed or whatever. And so you see her, and she keeps like looking over.
I've seen that one. Yes, keep going.
And then and the judge is like, sir, where are you at? And he's like, I'm at my house, you know. And she's like, yeah, but like, are you in the same house as the defendant here? And he's like, what?
No.
And then he's like, when he tells the bailiff, she's like, hey, can you send someone over to Lindsay's address, Mary Lindsay's address? So they send the cop over there. You can hear it knocking on the door in both videos, right?
Oh, God, I saw that. That was great. Yeah. That was awesome.
Dude, I cut out a lot of stuff just so maybe we can, if we want to do that, they can watch that video together, dude. So funny.
That was awesome.
It's like the most fucking viral of all of like those court videos, unless you kill somebody. But you know, but like they literally catch them live on the thing in the same house, like intimidating her to like not testify against him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because she's trying
to drop the charges because he's like
saying to look over there.
It was so wild.
I'm in
I
my
went back
own
there to
house.
visit my family a couple years ago and ran into her, and she was like, "Oh, you never saw the video?" I'm like, "What video?" And she's like, "Oh, never mind." And then
Man, that was a good
I asked
video.
someone else, and they're like, "Oh yeah, dude." There was like there was like police or like local news coverage, like trying to stalk her outside of her house, like get her interviewed. It was so funny.
Well, and did she invite him over, or did he, or is he just that guy that isn't going to leave? Like,
No, she said that she had sort of taken him back. But I think there was like, some other things involved, like maybe some
Can't you stay for like
some stuff where you have to like show your ID to get some Sudafed to make with.
Like, I've heard a lot once you're invited into someone's house.
This was in Michigan. I don't know if it's the same laws, but she was sort of like intimidated by it. But no, there was a restraining order. She was not supposed to be in the same house. And I don't even think she was staying in the same house they stayed in. So.
Yeah, but once you're invited, see, that's the deal with restraining orders. It's like, all right, you impose one, but like if you invite the other person in, see, there's kind of like a double standard there because it's like, well, you got the battered woman
like
syndrome, but like at the same point,
this thing is void now because you invited them back. But then how do you prove it? It's just like until you forget and be like, I don't like ham sandwiches, and she's like, that's it. I'm calling the fucking. You weren't invited here. Like that's all it takes. That's tough. That's like I would just say, if you ever get a restraining order put on you, it's probably like good news for you, dude. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Just like chalk that one up as a W and move on to the next one. And porn is great these days. Everything's in 1440 now. I mean, fuck 1080, dude. 1440 is a thing? 1440. No, that's made up. No, it's real. No, it's not. They don't have that. That's not a real thing. They don't have that. They're still at 1080. It's 1080 and that's it. I mean, 1080 is still very wild.
got some birthday jerky.
You can step up, man. Where did you get it?
My brother.
I've been going through fucking withdrawals because you haven't been getting those meat sticks from Big Top.
I got something better. I got like bags and bags and bags of beef jerky and some silver.
Yeah. What kind of jerky is it? Every kind. We got like 6 bags.
Yeah. I'm like a connoisseur. So this is Chipotle bourbon beef jerky.
I see.
Kicked. Then there was habanero.
You're all beef guy?
No, I like buffalo, venison.
Venison, I think, is one of my favorites.
Yeah, venison's good. Buffalo's awesome.
Jerky?
What's that?
You ever got salmon jerky?
I'm not into the.
No, I don't think I've ever had any of the fish jerky.
Sometimes it's not bad. Yeah, you get like a dried fish.
Dude, pretty much anything that you do.
Salmon available in Israel. I don't think salmon, but there's a lot of fish. Yeah, but it's just wild. Like how much Jews love salmon, but I don't even think it's like a locally sourced thing. That's not Israeli. I mean, did you guys get that from Banking for Everyone? You know what I mean? Was that like?
No, it's
were they bartering to get some salmon? They needed that lot, dude. Here's what it is. The
Ashkenazic Jews moved to population centers like New York and Boston, have great salmon, and where they make, and then they complement it with Jews who make great bagels, and you combine those with lox and salmon. You have that bagel all the time, and then you have salmon.
So they were like, "Fuck, we'll eat this," but we got room for bagels and salmon. So that's
what do you trifecta? And you've always got like a nanny or an aunt that'll push it on you, and it always is preceded by, "You're so skinny, eat some more, have a bagel dog."
I don't want to.
Is it Mackay or what is that guy? I think it's Payan. Who's Payan? Is it?
You're still back on this one?
I'm like, which one is that guy?
We're gonna have to revisit that video.
That's crazy. I never find which episode of MSSP that was.
What's the craziest shit you heard this week, dude?
What was the craziest shit I heard this week? It's been a kind of slow news cycle. I don't know that anything. I think we're past the point of, all right, everybody's freaked out that, like, Trump's president. Now I think the craziest shit I've heard is the Maryland man. And just how there's two completely different stories about that guy. Maryland man is basically a guy that's like, all right, he's an illegal alien. that's also a human trafficker and an MS-13.
The El Salvador guy?
What's that? No, the El Salvador guy. That the congressmen have decided, like, let's go down there and have margaritas with him, and let's bring back a gang member into the country. And, like, it's all...
He heard the divorce order in 2019, right?
Yes, yeah,
Right before.
like, all right, so he's a dude that, like, they have body cam footage of him, and you hear him talking, and you're like, this ain't no Maryland, man. That is not a Baltimore accent. He's like, hey, I'm just driving with these people. He's got 8 people in the car. Like, he's human trafficking. All right, whatever. But they're also using his wife as, like, the sob story to pull on the heartstrings. Only the wife has had restraining orders because he's, like, domestically abused her. I mean, is it domestic abuse when it's an illegal alien, or is that, like, international abuse? You know? So they're carrying water for this guy, and it's finally dropped. Like, they finally realized, like, dude, they got played. Like,
is this where anal stories come from?
They were completely played by this guy. So now there's a new one. I just saw on my feed come up today. It's a Detroit woman. I'm like, oh God, what is she going to be? Because nothing is ever what it's presented as. Like, you know, if the mainstream media locks onto somebody that they feel sympathetic for, I think you could just... I'm at the point where I go, all right, I'm assuming this guy's, like, not only a criminal, but a real criminal. Like not just a little criminal, but, like, no, they're only carrying water for people that, like...
a debate on Piers Morgan where it was, like, some white woman and some Arab dude arguing about this guy.
Who is that? Is that Hassan?
Maybe, but he just kept bringing up the point that, like, look, this guy's an illegal immigrant. It's been documented since 2019. He has a rap sheet, like he has, you know, and she goes, well, he still belongs to be here. He's like, okay.
I don't understand that. Like,
that's an easy point to understand, but
there's no other country that works in. You know, it seems to be just Western civilization that it's like, yeah, well, he might be human trafficking, but, you know, you guys are white, and he is brown, so he has to be here. It's like, no. I don't give a shit what color this guy is. Like, I don't want human traffickers here, period. I don't think that's asking too much, you know, but it would seem as if the narrative is whatever Trump says, or whatever, like a normal person would say, like, I don't want human traffickers here. The left just can't help themselves but to be like, we want that here. You want that here. And so they'll give a little piece of the story. Like, if you listen to CNN,
I think they want due process. They want the law to be carried out. But it's like, yeah, I mean, obviously some of the people to get deported are actually going to deserve to be deported.
If you let CNN tell it, this guy is, like, just a victim. But if you do the research yourself, look at all the paperwork, this guy's just a criminal, dude.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Like,
so whether or not he was deported illegally this time, he was already supposed to be deported.
Right.
So, anyways, but it sort of leads into this thing. I read this article today about, because I was all into Star Wars shit, and it was a bunch of white people talking about that Anakin isn't a bad guy. It's this scene right here at the top where he kills, like, the young Jedis, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's like these people going, well, I don't think he really killed the young Jedis. And it's like, no, there's someone proof he killed them. Like, even Yoda says that this is a lightsaber wound, you know what I mean?
Not canon, he killed them.
Yeah. But it's like, so all these people, like, trying to defend him, like, I don't believe that he was bad all the way. Like, then he's saying that he's possessed by Darth Vader, and it's like, you're just bringing, what are we doing here now?
There's a real weird sentiment going on to support the criminal.
People, fucking calm down, okay? It's okay. Some of us are bad guys.
Right. You know? The problem with evil exists.
It's what makes the movie great.
Yes.
Get over it.
Not everybody could be a hero.
And he killed the fucking Padawans. He killed them all, okay? He's filled with rage at that point. It's over.
Look, also, if the prequels, it's like, all this had to happen. How many Jedi are there in the originals? Like, 2? How many are there? Like, 1,000. So, obviously, they're going to have to weed them out somehow. Yeah. You know? Like, sorry, but they can't live.
You had to get back down to just Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and so
right, and like,
wasn't Yoda like visiting him? Isn't he like in another dimension or something at that point? Isn't he visiting him or like astral projecting himself to him?
No, he hasn't started asshole projecting himself.
Asshole projection.
Episode 3.
So we call gate bids.
You guys have watched all these, right?
Oh, a lot of them a bunch of times.
See, one of my favorite parts is where they elect the emperor, and it's that idiot Jar Jar Binks, and I don't know. I've made the correlation. I'm like, all right, that's your
Kamala Harris' first role on TV.
It's like when Trump gets elected.
Yeah, Kamala Harris, AOC. It's like, all right, we're gonna put this guy in charge because he's talking slick, and boom. The next thing you know, it's like, yeah, the most evil people ever are elected in.
Dude, let's say first scene, Phantom Menace, first scene. You can't tell me that those two guys aren't Asian, okay?
Oh, the Trade Federation is.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Those
are the Silk Road Initiative guys now, dude.
That's the CCP.
So what it was George Lucas was worried about the Japanese taking over America, but they're in the 90s, and that's what they are.
Oh, like,
for the Emperor! Tokayama!
Amidala is a
What honor for the Emperor?
But it's so obvious that they're Asians.
Yeah, it's too much.
Why would you even do that?
You gotta be subtle with the racism. Less is more.
But I mean, the way their eyes are, they do look like Asians with Down syndrome because they have like this big forehead.
Flash the screen. Are they on now?
No. I'm saying that's first scene of.
They're on later in this movie.
We're like balls deep into.
He takes them out later on.
Okay, we're at the droid army.
It's about to go full dark.
It already has Order 66 just happened. That's like the most sad part day of May the 4th when you have to watch that. It's like the Holocaust or something. But yeah, 1,000 Jedi just killed. 500 of them died in episode 2, Attack of the Clones, on the Battle of Geonosis, and then the other 500 or so get killed in Order 66.
That's a wild name, isn't it?
What's that?
For that to happen on that planet, Geonosis.
Yeah.
What does that mean in Hebrew? Doesn't that mean like world knowledge?
Yeah.
Geonosis, or is that like?
I don't think so. Does it?
That's not.
But gnosis I think gnosis in Greek means knowledge. That's where Gnosticism and like the form of that word comes from. So look.
Let's see. Let's look that shit up.
Before we get to this fight, we related this back to Star Wars too somehow.
Star Wars, yeah.
Well, I mean the thing about the ant people being the Afghani cave people that we were hunting down.
Oh, so is that's the
one group is named the Sand People on Tatooine, and the other group they're like the bug people of Geonosis. I'm like, dude, we're during the Iraq and Afghanistan war, so it's like clearly those two wars.
So, and this ties directly into 9/11.
All right, Levi for the win. Geonosis does mean knowledge, spiritual and mystical nature. To illuminate the divine, to unlock cosmic secrets, upgrade your soul's firmware. I didn't realize my soul had firmware.
Oh, nice. All right, so look, I got 2 questions to start off. One, do you guys know who Peter Brabeck is?
No.
Okay, I'll explain it. And then 2, have you ever heard of the mountain of Tirik Mir? It's on the border of Pakistan and Iran.
Mm-mm.
So there's a bunch of like all the people in this region have their religion based upon this mountain. Okay, the mountain. The translation Tirik Mir means King of Darkness. So it's already a pretty spooky mountain, dude. You know what I mean? The lady Krumra, goddess of Kalasha, believed to live on this mountain, is like a goat lady. Okay, so then it goes back to Baphomet, which we were talking about, and Pan earlier. But so this mountain is just a crazy mountain. None of the locals go on this mountain, but there are like this group of people that are cloaked people, look like Jedis. They live on this mountain. They've lived on this mountain for thousands and thousands of years, right? and all the local people think these people are possessed. That's the only way they can live on this mountain, because this mountain is like the home of their polytheistic deities run by the goat lady, right? So this guy, Peter Brebeck, he's in 1967. This guy's like from Austria, smart guy, well-traveled guy. He spends the rest of a lot of his time in the U.S. being a big CEO of some companies, Nestle, being one of them. But he goes on this expedition with his buddies to, Tirek, this dark mountain of darkness, whatever. And so they take enough supplies. They don't take enough supplies. They make it halfway up the mountain, and realize that only 2 of them are going to be able to go up to the top, and 3 of them to make it back down, right? And this guy, Peter Brebeck, he's the one that financed the whole thing, right? His idea. And so they play a game of poker to decide who gets to go up the mountain. Brebeck loses. Allegedly, this is the story, right? So they go up. His friends go up the mountain the next day. I think Brebeck comes in contact with these people in the cloaks. That might have been the day before, right? Somehow he came in contact with people in the cloaks. They didn't talk to him allegedly. So those guys go up the mountain. They hit an ice slick, fall off an edge, die.
Oh shit!
Breivik doesn't hear back from him for a couple days. He decides to leave and go back home on his own. This is his own story, okay? There's no verification of the story at all, right? So, fast forward a couple years, some people hear this story. It's like a Navy SEAL that's in Afghanistan talking to a reporter that's there that heard the story about this guy, Peter Breivik, going there. And then 2000, or 9/11 happens, right?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Just give me a bit. I gotta just do comedy really quick. What about a talk show called Reporter or Retarded? You have people on, and you have to decide whether they were someone who had special needs or whether they were a reporter. Like, no, I'm a reporter. Like, no, you have Down syndrome, Michael. Right.
People with Down syndrome probably ask more honest questions and relevant questions.
So look, this Peter Brebeck guy, he goes on to be like the president of Nestle. You know how many companies Nestle owns?
All of them.
Every one of them.
Yeah.
Every one of them. I mean, I think this guy was quoted as saying that water isn't a human right.
Right.